Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Put the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterward.
And Watchers found 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire.
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3 with the primal rage.
Experience tranquility.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else in between, good evening and welcome back to Tranquility Gaming Season 9 regular season coverage. Tonight, we wrap up the 3rd week of the regular season with our North American Discord tier feature match, where 2 fan-favorite teams are set to face off. Who will claim their 2nd win of the season tonight? The SEAL Team Spuds or Redacted? My name is Bowsy, and I'm joined here by Thor Yumea on the cast, Boof on production, and Mr. Yeti and Dan on observing. Thea, how are you doing this fine evening?
I am doing well. I'd like to think. Yes. Well, except for that one comp game that I had this afternoon, wherein I had a Doomfist that was intentionally just throwing our Junkertown match. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
because
sorry about
GG
that.
Go next. I kind of figured I was going to lose it anyways because I was on a winning streak, but whatever. Then
Yeah,
I
sorry.
logged out afterwards and haven't touched Overwatch.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do you with there. But regardless, it's going to be an interesting match here between SEAL Team Spuds and Redacted. 2 teams, obviously, have grown into fan favorites. Obviously, the SEAL Team Spuds, part of the Starchy org, which is the longest-standing org in Tranquility history, and Redacted, who last season won everybody's hearts in stage number 2 with their sportsmanship in their first match of the in that stage. So, both of these teams, a lot of things going for them in terms of the fan support, but so far, middling results to start off the season.
I mean, middling results currently is just 3rd week. There is a lot that can happen, and really, doesn't even matter if you're middling results right now. What matters is really how you do starting stage 2 onwards, because we're moving to a new game starting stage 2. And have you heard of the new hero drop, Bowsy?
I have heard of Kiriko being announced. Definitely an interesting hero once Overwatch 2 releases and we head into stage number 2. But that's for the future. And now is the present as we head into our first map, which is going to be Ilios here, which obviously can tend itself to a lot of wacky compositions, especially on Ilios well.
I mean, how about you? I've seen also wacky comps in Ilios Lighthouse. If anything, the only thing constant is anything that happens in Ilios Ruins. But, you know, I wonder where we're headed to first, because if we find ourselves in well, we find ourselves in the midst of chaos. And, you know, some teams do thrive in chaos, others don't. And, well, we have found ourselves in well.
Yep, we're going to be finding ourselves to start here on well. SEAL Team Spuds on the left, Redacted on the right, and different compositions from both sides, Thea.
I mean, Redacted going your standard 6-man, it works really well in well. Wow, unintentional. But SEAL Team Spuds going for a brawl setup with more of a Torb. So, you know, Redacted has to get through this fight very quickly, or, you know, SEAL Team Spuds is just gonna run over them with the longer sustain.
So we'll see what the move is here. SEAL Team Spuds trying to take advantage of this cage room, but Redacted trying to move right into them. Redacted, known as a 6-man team, and now that's a 5-man team as Toxic gets the first kill here onto It's Me Nugget, and now the rest of the members of Redacted falling as SEAL Team Spuds plow right into them, and they'll get the first cap.
I mean, first cap. I mean, as I said, Redacted needed to be more decisive in where they wanted to play. Personally, if you can't get that mega or that mini in that room, you gotta move out of it right away. Play out in the open and force SEAL Team Spuds to go of that area. Because you wouldn't. I think within a Brawl v Brawl setup, the standard Brawl just does way better than a 6-man.
So we'll see now as Redacted make their way back in. We'll have to see what their main focus of attack is. And Talk has already found the first kill here onto Master Ryan. Genji Main also gets a kill on the Turtle, and the rest of the SEAL Team Spuds cleaning up the members of Redacted, and they'll continue the capitalist forward.
Honestly, though, for a second fight, like, you're only at 30%. I think Redacted's really, goal here is you need to build up those ults that turn the fight for them, right? But, you know, they're going to be having this Cole, and it's such a great engagement tool, but I don't think it's going to be enough to sustain through this Shatter that Genji Main has, and the Molten Core, and the window from Zorskon. There's a lot of win conditions in Sealing Floods. They're about on 6 ults right now, and I don't think a Cole will sustain through this very well.
Oh, especially now when it gets canceled by Genji Main. Shatter! Chesky did not see that one coming, and SEAL Team Spuds continuing their rampage here over Redacted. Redacted had to use some ults in that fight. They did use the Cole, but still, it's a win for the SEAL Team Spuds.
I mean, Redacted gave up 1 ult for 2 ults that came from the side of SEAL Team Spuds, but once we're hitting the 75% mark on the side of SEAL Team Spuds, Redacted really need to find answers on how they want to engage this team, right? You see that Turtle is trying to scout where SEAL Team Spuds is playing, and now they're opting to rotate from main, and, you know, Turtle's gonna release this EMP anytime soon.
We'll see how good this EMP does as Turtle releases, lands on the 2, one of them being Zorfcon, who dies immediately to Isby Nugget. Step Blossom as Redacted try to make their way back in. That's a second kill here for Isby Nugget as Ricky unleashes the bomb. Isn't able to get anything, doesn't get anything with the remake either as Gambito also uses their bomb in this fight, and SEAL Team Spuds starting to fall now as Redacted. They trigger overtime. 99% here for SEAL Team Spuds as Redacted trying to clean up the point here. With Toxic falling, it's probably going to be a win here for Redacted, and they'll start taking up the percentage.
As long as they cap point, and there we go. They managed to cap point. Was worried a bit about a C9, but, you know, Redacted had to give up a lot of ults that fight, and they're going into this next one without any. While SEAL Team Spuds do have that Shatter incoming and the High Noon from Booncore. So expect probably like a speed High Noon in, unless Redacted speed in right away.
Yeah, they do. Redacted speed right into SEAL Team Spuds, but Toxic has already found Chesky here, so now your main source of healing is down here for Redacted. SEAL Team Spuds pushing right in. The Shatter from Genji Main lands onto both tanks, and the Deadeye from Booncore is there to try to clean it up. Now SEAL Team Spuds setting back up on this point. They just have to deal with the stragglers of Redacted as they take the point. Overtime once again triggered, and SEAL Team Spuds, they're just going to be keeping Redacted off this point as much as possible, try to claim the point. But Redacted, they want to try to keep contesting this. Turtle's back on the Sombra, has to teleport out because they're taking a lot of damage, and now Chesky's dead as well. Master Ryan comes right in, gets immediately burned down by Zorfcon's window here, so with SEAL Team Spuds looking in a really clean position here. Gambito is going to be the last one to touch here. The Molten Core coming out from Toxic as well, trying to clean off the point. Looks like it's going to be a clean cap here for SEAL Team Spuds, and they will be winning the first point here on Ilios.
I mean, very solid showing of SEAL Team Spuds of just how they want to play that brawl comp of theirs, right? Yes, there is no Mei and you're playing with the Torb, but the Torb really does allow for a lot of additional poke damage, which breaks the Winston bubble so much faster, and, you know, the additional damage makes Chesky have to use so much of their mortar resource right away, and it makes it harder to figure out where you're supposed to fade in and out of. Now we're headed to Ruins, and Redacted still sticking to the 6-man composition, which works great and well, but when we're looking at the SEAL Team Spuds comp, it looks like we're probably expecting a ball composition here with a Tracer Sombra setup. So win conditions for Redacted here is maybe Turtle just messes up with the engagements of Genji Main by getting a hack on him as he rolls through, melting that in, and that just makes it a bit harder for SEAL Team Spuds to get value, especially with their more pokier DPS.
So SEAL Team Spuds now coming out with this composition. We'll see if it's able to work here as they approach the big waypoint here. Redacted looked like they want to try to go for that immediate engage, and Booncore gets hacked here on the Tracer. Isby Nugget able to find the first kill on the Nighthawk here, so already Redacted in a very good place starting this out. You see Master Ryan diving straight onto Zorfcon will eliminate that Zenyatta as well. As Redacted cleaning up the point, they're going to be getting the first point here on Ilios.
Redacted understands how they want to play the 6-man composition against something like a ball comp. Ball comp really relies on setting up, causing disruption, right? And getting a lot of poke damage, or a lot of your high damage from your Zenyatta, right? And if you give them no room to set up and just go in on them, they lose value.
So yeah, you already see that big pulse bomb coming out from Booncore, eliminating 2 players here for the side of Redacted. It was Genjimate who ended up falling off the edge thanks to a boot from Prime, but Seal Team Spuds in a good advantage here, especially with that 3rd pick now going on the Turtle. So Seal Team Spuds looking like they're going to be able to take this point for their own here, away from Redacted.
I mean, at least Redacted get it to 32%. And coming into this next fight, they do have this Coalescence, which is a great engagement tool, and that EMP. But are they aware that Toxic also has his own EMP and that Zorthcon has this Transcendence? Because that makes the interaction for this EMP versus EMP very, very wonky.
CLT Spuds engaged with the EMP. It's a 4-man EMP coming out from Toxic. Lands onto everybody but Turtle and Master Ryan. And you already see the kills going in favor here for the side of Seal Team Spuds. Booncore grabs 2 and Ricky grabs a 3rd. And it's going to be Seal Team Spuds once again continuing the hold.
Good hold, good engagement from Toxic. And on the side of Redacted, they really didn't use anything, right? Understanding that that was a lost fight. Chesky had been hacked by the EMP, so couldn't Coalescence to keep the sustain. It's a great job overall. Now, I wonder if Turtle manages to properly find where Zorthcon is with this Transcendence, because that's going to stop any engagement coming from his own EMP. But he has to be aware of getting bashed by this Brig also.
Genjimate unleashes the mines right into Redacted before they even push in. And the CMP gets stunned out by Nighthawk! Turtle could not have timed that any worse. Seal Team Spuds now, without that EMP having in the looming threat, they're starting to make the advance. The Transcendence comes out from Zorthcon. The Blossom from Misty Nugget and Gambito finds 3 with the Deva Bomb. Despite losing that EMP, Redacted still in this fight, still fighting hard. The Pulse Bomb from Booncore grabs 3! Both supports from Redacted are dead, and Seal Team Spuds might still have an opportunity to win this. Genjimate is trying to stall it out here on the Wrecking Ball, trying to get any sort of progress here and keep Redacted from getting this point back into their favor here. So Seal Team Spuds is just going to be a stall game for right now, and Redacted, they need to clean up these picks as fast as they can. It's Me Nugget gets hacked, so Redacted looking for these final kills as the Primal Rage is invested here from Master Ryan. The kills still, however, going in favor of Seal Team Spuds. Ricky's able to find Chesky. Booncore, however, is dead, and Nighthawk is booped all the way back to the ends of the earth. Redacted, however, they still haven't taken this point. It's 99% here for Seal Team Spuds. They're investing everything into this fight. Toxic will build up a second EMP, and Genjimate is able to get the kill onto It's Me Nugget with the grappling hook, and now nobody from Redacted is seen. Seal Team Spuds have been able to turn this fight around. They're starting to get these picks that they need and trying to finish it out as fast as they can. Redacted trying to come back into this fight. Gambito's able to get back into the mech here, and Turtle VP has another EMP. Hopefully he doesn't get stunned this time as Seal Team Spuds trying to do it. Turtle unable to get anything with that EMP, and Seal Team Spuds will win here on Ilios.
Seal Team Spuds showing how to re-engage onto, a lost fight on Ruins and getting value with it, because there was a huge point in time that it should have turned over to Redacted, and whether it was lack of target focus from Redacted or just Seal Team Spuds knowing how to re-engage together as a team to get the point back, it went into the favor of Seal Team Spuds. So great showing from Seal Team Spuds. And as for Redacted, I'm not sure if the 6-man is working for them right now, but if they really feel comfortable in this composition, they will need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to properly play the composition.
Definitely, that seems like something that we're going to have to see here from the side of Redacted. Obviously, Redacted is known as the 6-man team. They have always been known for 6-man dive, shadow dive, whatever you call it, compositions. Some people call it Neo Goats. I say you're wrong. So they've been known to run this composition, and it's really worked for them most of the time. But right now, they're playing up against a Seal Team Spuds that is much more fluent in flexibility. So they have to know what compositions to run at the right times. We'll have to see if they're able to do that here in our second map, which they have chosen to be Hanamura.
Hanamura is an interesting pick if you're a 6-man team, just because normally you'd expect either a brawl setup on Hanamura or you're expecting a ball composition on Hanamura, or sometimes a double shield. It really depends, but rarely do you see 6-man being run on Hanamura. So I want to see what Redacted has in store for their Hanamura defense and attack, given that what they've shown us on Ilios has been their 6-man.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what the move is here from the side of Redacted and what they want to try to run here on Hanamura. And we'll obviously see what Seal Team Spuds want to try to bring to the table when we go into this map, because literally anything is on the table. Like Seal Team Spuds, we've seen that they can switch between compositions. We saw them on the Brawl comp, and then they moved over to this ball comp. So we've been seeing two different styles, so we could see a lot of different styles here from SEAL Team Spuds, especially when they have a lot of veteran players who have a lot of experience playing a bunch of different compositions.
Yeah, I think that's the current strength, at least of SEAL Team Spuds, is that a lot of their players come from different teams, like from previous seasons. And, you know, coming from different teams just also means they have different experiences and ways they have been coached on certain compositions. So now they have like a really good chance of melding, you know, two different lessons from their different teams all together, right? But there have been some swaps on the side of SEAL Team Spuds. Boongar has been subbed out for Ashes on the side of SEAL Team Spuds, while on the side of Redacted, everything is still the same.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what the changes are here between the two teams and how Ash is going to make a difference here for the SEAL Team Spuds. We obviously see SEAL Team Spuds. They're coming out on this ball comp once again, except they're running the Tracer this time instead of that Sombra.
And I also think, no, you're running the Pharah instead of
Yeah.
the Sombra, right? And like the
Yeah.
idea is you want to nano the Sombra, which is why you are playing the Ana instead of the usual Zenyatta in this composition. Now, on Redacted, going for your tried and tested Brawl composition. So I want to see how they're planned to deal with this ball composition, whose goal really is to boop any chance the Redacted can get through that TP and onto point.
Alright, so here comes Redacted through the main area. They get the boop from Toxic, actually, is able to knock Redacted off point, all away from the teleporter, but they're still able to get onto the point here, trying to get that first check, but they have contestants coming out here from Genji Main and Ricky, so Redacted still looking for that first check. They're very close to getting it, however, and they will be able to get that first check here, but already you see Chesky is down and Gambito's lost their mech. Ashes, however, dies to Prime here, so Redacted are in a little bit of advantage, and now they've demexed Ricky as well, so now there's no divas on the field, only one tank per team, a Reinhardt and a Ball, so it's just going to be up to the rest of the players, and already Genji Main eliminates that deficit, gets rid of Gambito, and now It's Me Nugget is dead as well, so it's going to be a win here for SEAL Team Spuds, but they lose the tech in the process.
I mean, might as well. Oh, Toxic decides to release the barrage to end, you know, the stall of Prime and Master Ryan on point. But really, I would have argued that Master Ryan and Prime should have died earlier, so that they could have a hard reset. Because if you're playing this Brawly composition into a ball comp, you would rather take this point tick by tick rather than trying to force your team to like get everything at one go, especially when you're losing players over time. There has to be a certain number of lost players where you say, no, we have to go back and like just get off point.
Yeah, Redacted look like they want to try to dig for approach, take this right side to try and pile right on top of Zorfcon, and it will work. Master Ryan able to eliminate the Ana threat here for the side of SEAL Team Spuds. So now, already a good start here for Redacted, but now they have to be careful of Toxic, who's now dead to Turtle, as Turtle's found two in this fight. Nighthawk will be able to get the res here on the Toxic, so Toxic back in the fight here on this Pharah. The turret's set up from It's Me Nugget, but the mines as well set up from Genji Main, trying to shut out Redacted and get SEAL Team Spuds a more of a hold. The second tick was taken, and Toxic has built up a second barrage. We'll find It's Me Nugget, but we'll end up dying to Gambito, and all that's left here are the tanks for the side of Redacted. The immortality field from Chesky is perfectly timed, and it's going to be Redacted cleaning up this point with the rest of their supports and tanks on the point, and they're going to be able to get point A here.
That felt like such a hero. Master Ryan releasing the Shatter, I don't think that was necessary, but you know what also wasn't necessary in my opinion? Was Toxic releasing that barrage, right? That was pretty much a lost fight, and I think like that barrage shouldn't have been used and could have been saved for the next point. It felt like Toxic was trying to do a hero play when he really didn't have as much resources left, given the amount of shields Redacted have. But Redacted are coming in with a Blizzard and a bomb and a window, and really, Blizzard really doesn't get as much value against the ball comp. So they just need one target.
We'll see if they're able to get that target as the bomb comes out from Ricky trying to separate the members, and Genji Main finds Chesky, who invested that amplification matrix. Still possible here for Redacted as Gambito's bomb finds Nighthawk, but still there's a lot of members here for the side of SEAL Team Spuds alive, Genji Main being one of them, Toxic being the other. And right now the members of Redacted may not be able to deal with them, especially when the spawns for SEAL Team Spuds are right there.
I mean, Redacted just need to full reset, and no, Gambito and Turtle just want to fight it out, but that's not enough for them anymore, and they'll have to go back to the drawing board. Nighthawk's probably gonna go head back to playing the Mercy, given that, you know, he just went back for stalls, and Redacted is coming in with this Blizzard. It's a question of how Turtle wants to use this. One way you could use it is honestly just to isolate the ball. Another thing would just be, you know, pressure the Ana, or maybe the Ashe if you can get to the Ashe. But ideally, the Mei ult doesn't really get as much value in a ball composition, but you just need to use it to at least one person.
Teleport comes in for Redacted up to the top left. We'll see if it works as Toxic gets nano boosted here by Zorfcon, and the mine once again come out here from Genji main. Zorfcon able to find the final kill to Master Ryan, and now the rest of Redacted are falling one by one. Steel Team Spuds showing pretty good hold here on point B.
Steel Team Spuds is showing a really good hold. I think their Redacted need to go back to the drawing board on what DPS they want to bring into this next fight. I think by around like the 2-minute mark, they should make some necessary swaps, because it's very obvious that they're struggling to deal with all the poke coming from different sides, because the moment they head back down after teleporting, Chesky just gets dove on by the Pharah.
Blizzard comes out here from Turtle VP, so does the wall from It's Me Nugget. Toxic gets Chesky, but also loses life for it. Gambito also loses their mech as well. As you see Nighthawk on the left side trying to get the res back off as It's Me Nugget eliminates Genji main, and the first pick is taken here by Redacted. They're finally finding some stability here, despite using so many ults. Surfcon, however, able to eliminate Gambito, but still Redacted in the driver's seat right now. Toxic back in the fight, so is Genji main, trying to stall this point out for a little bit longer. It's Me Nugget might not have a lot of life left. Genji main gets shattered, gets charged out by Master Ryan, as It's Me Nugget is able to eliminate Toxic on that Pharah, and the rest of Redacted just trying to profit off of this high charge Symmetra, just beaming everybody down. It's Me Nugget just causing a massacre right here, and Redacted will eventually cap the point as long as the stalls aren't too much, and they are not. Redacted cleaning up the point. They will be able to cap here on Hanamura.
Great, I guess, understanding of, okay, I'll be honest, like, Redacted winning that fight was really on all of them protecting It's Me Nugget from not dying, right? Most of the time when you're trying to deal with like this Farm Mercy and you're running a Sim Mei, usually like a lot of the pressure is just from your BAP and your Diva. But It's Me Nugget was trying to be very creative and tossing his turrets up to the very high portions of the walls, so that for a brief period of time, Toxic doesn't look at the ground because he needs to kill turrets. And I think that was like a smart play from them. Now, can they replicate this if Steel Team Spuds runs another ball composition, which they are hinting at yet again? But this time, Redacted is running double shield. So I think this is significantly better to deal with the ball comp. If you play a 3-3 split, it should work. Or at least it should be a decent hold against a ball composition.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see what the move is here from Redacted on this double shield and how it's going to work into their favor. Steel Team Spuds, as you said, running out on this ball composition. They might have Toxic scouted out on the Somber, or they might just be full investing into the ball comp. We'll see what they decide to do here. But really, Steel Team Spuds looking pretty good on that ball composition before. Yeah, and they're going to be rolling out with it here on attack. So definitely not what we're used to here on Hanamura, but I mean, if it works here, Thea.
I mean, you see Toxic swapping off the moment he sees the double shield, knowing they're not going to get as much value if they run a Tracer Sombra setup. But, you know, Toxic will have to play with his core of the Zan Brig along with the Diva. And they need to make some rotates at some point, because if they just play at the choke, it doesn't really help them.
Spuds start making their rotation, and Toxic eliminates the turret from It's Me Nugget, which provides less pressure for the Tracer of Ashes, who went over to the back line. So we'll see if it's able to work into their favor. Turtle starts getting contested on the high ground there and has to boop away from Ricky. And now he's getting challenged by Toxic in a 1v1. It is close between the two, but it's Turtle coming out on top over Toxic Blade 47, who is indeed bad. Steel Team Spuds now trying to make their way over to the point as Redacted, looking for a way to be able to stop them in their tracks. But Ricky gets Turtle. A big pick here is now one of the DPS cores here for Redacted is down, but It's Me Nugget is showing up in the kill feed. 2 headshot kills from the Torbjorn. A marvel of engineering, eliminating both of those supports. And Steel Team Spuds, that has to be their cue to retreat.
I can't believe I heard you reference Toxic as Toxic Blade 47. He has let go of that name. Let him die in peace. But he did not die in peace because he just lost a 1v1 to Turtle VP. So maybe he is a Toxic Blade 47. But nevertheless, coming to this next fight, there really isn't much on both sides, except for, you know, Redacted losing Turtle VP right away.
Yeah, definitely not a good start here for Redacted as they CLT Spuds make their way into the point. Ash is already forced out of the remake, and It's Me Nugget once again shows up in the kill feed, kills out Genji Main this time here on the Wrecking Ball. So CLT Spuds down their main tank here. Ricky is the only tank player left alive, but it might not matter as Ashes finds the back line, gets the pulse bomb into It's Me Nugget. That's enough torpedo and play for you, he says, as CLT Spuds just cleaning up the remainder. They will be getting this first point here on Hanamura.
I mean, great understanding from SEAL Team Spuds of, you know, the angles they need to hold, like the multiple angles they need to hold to deal against, deal with this double shield. But props also to Redacted for understanding how they want to play their composition, right? If the brig just stacks closer to the tanks, they can at least deal with the engages of the ball better and relieve the pressure of the dive much easier. And coming to this next fight though, there's a lot of ults on the board, especially on the side of Redacted. So it becomes a question of, can they survive the onslaught of Steel Team Spuds ults?
See, Steel Team Spuds start making their way in with that Dragon Blade from Toxic, and the Master Ryan gets pressured out by it, ends up dying, so Genji Main there. Ashes also gets the kill on the Prime, forces out the transition through from Zorfcon, but still, Steel Team Spuds making good progress here. It's Me Nugget gets the turret kill on the Nighthawk, but Chesky and now he are now dead. Redacted, not looking very great. Steel Team Spuds trying to make their way to the point, but Turtle is showing up in the kill feed. 4 kills from Turtle on this Ash, 1 courtesy of the Bob, and Redacted can hold.
I was gonna say 2 courtesy of Bob and 1 courtesy of Turret. That felt like a game of everyone was dead except for Bob and the turret. But, you know, it is what it is. They are zoning ults for a reason. And they did their job with, you know, those last minute cleanups from all the damage they put in onto SEAL Team Spuds. And the issue Redacted has right now is that they only have a bongo as their ult. So they have to pop this early in order to rebuild all their other ults, because SEAL Team Spuds has this rally, has this pulse, has these mines. Oh, never mind. Bye pulse.
Yeah, they now have a dead Tracer as Turtle VP finds the head of Ashes there. So SEAL Team Spuds probably going to be delaying their push here. Noteworthy, Thea. It's Me Nugget switching over to the Hanzo for the remainder of this map. Looks like.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Hanzo pick, just because you really have to land the shots more. And, you know, if It's Me Nugget is feeling it, he's feeling it. But I feel like there's such a high value for Torb against a more, flankier, want to set up comp.
Definitely. Prime able to find that first kill with the Nighthawk. The mines come out here from Genji Main, spread out on both the high ground and the point, but already Redacted have found 3 picks here. Make that 4 as It's Me Nugget finishes out Genji Main, and Redacted get a pretty good hold so far.
Okay, maybe I should stand corrected. Maybe It's Me Nugget is actually feeling it on the Hanzo, because now he has dragons. And Toxic makes the switch over to the Sombra, realizing there's no more Torbjorn to bother them as they're trying to get hacks out. But you know, they only have the Pulse Bomb of Ashes to work with, while Redactive have all these zoning ults, with a Flux coming in, probably mid-fight. So, I think SEAL Team Spuds, if they get a great pick, great time to engage. If they're unable to find an opening, they might as well get this to a dry fight and build their own ults.
Movements here. Oh, but a big hack on Gambito, who's alone on that high ground, but still, Redacted find 2 picks that is on both supports of SEAL Team Spuds. Ashes uses the Pulse Bomb, but what does it work? The rest of your team is dead. Gambito may be dead, but still, Redacted get a hold.
I mean, Gambito dying is fine, right? Like, he's closer spawns. You killed almost everyone else on the side of SEAL Team Spuds. And now you see swaps coming in from SEAL Team Squad. Toxic playing Mystery Heroes now goes over to the Genji. Probably trying to have more dive potential with Genji main and Ashes, especially getting to that high ground, which where Turtle VP is playing, because Ashes really just can't get there on her own. But they still don't have an answer to this Bob, Flux, and Window. There's only one ult on the board, Transcendence, and by Toxic.
Yeah, Toxic dead, and now the Transcendence forced out here by Zorthcon. Only 45 seconds here for Seal Team's Spuds, and they want to try to take this point as quickly as possible. But Turtle VP's Bob once again finding value. 2 picks for him, or at least 1.5 picks for Turtle VP's Bob. Does get picked out by Genji Man, but Gambito has now found Nighthawk, and Zorthcon is already back in the spawn room. So Redacted get a hold, and Seal Team's Spuds only 30 seconds remaining in the time bank.
Great shot for Ricky and Ashes to just jump off map and reset because they have one more push together. Except for Toxic. I don't know how I feel about this. They needed to reset so much earlier as a team, and now that they know Toxic is behind there, and they lost Genji main really early on, just makes the setup really hard, especially with the window and dragons coming in.
Bomb comes out from Ricky. It has to be big. It will only force out the Immortality Field and the Transcendence from Prime. So Redacted trying to use both their support, or use their both critical support abilities to try and stop it. And Zorthcon is able to find the kill onto Turtle VP. So already a strong start here for Seal Team Spuds, but they have to find more. Genji Main's mines come on the point, and so does the Blade coming out for Toxic. Able to find 1, make that 2. Who needs a nano when Toxic just gets 3 here? Turning it around for Seal Team Spuds. Genji Main's mines is able to eliminate Chesky as well, and Seal Team Spuds might have just found an answer to try and bring this point back in their favor and try to force a draw here on Hanamura.
I mean, great, I guess. I have mixed feelings, okay? Just for the sole reason of, I feel like if they had regrouped from the start, they wouldn't have had to deal with the situation of going into overtime and like having to decide on whether they draw or lose, right? It's ultimately in Redacted's hands, right? How well can they replicate their initial push, right? They just need 1 tick, and when Redacted did their initial attack, right, they got their 1 tick in their first fight. So it looks more promising for Redacted, but now we see Seal Team Spuds making the necessary changes. Which is
switching up, yeah.
These are good necessary changes, right? You have Toxic on the Junkrat, Ashes on the Sim. More pressure now can be placed on the point with the turrets. If Itsumidogged decides to TP on straight to point, there's the very standard Junkrat spot. Seal Team Spuds can get a draw with this composition. It's a matter of when Redacted see this composition, how do they respond to it, and how do they plan to deal with it? Especially now, if they see a Junkrat, do they know not to TP straight to point?
They might also see the TP from Ashes, who put a TP straight onto point, and they're just going to TP to point anyway. The wall will come in, but Toxic's already set up on the point, is already going nuts with Genji main, already eliminating Prime here on that Lucio, and now the rest of Redacted having a little bit of trouble. Nugget finds Nighthawk over. Master Ryan able to get the charge onto Ashes, so it's still possible here for Redacted. It's a back and forth affair, but now the DPS for Seal Team Spuds are dead. Ricky will also die, and Redacted, they might have just broken through this hold that Seal Team Spuds were trying to get, and Redacted will tie the series heading into halftime.
I was worried for a while because someone did get trapped in that Junkrat trap, and I think it might have been the Mei, which is probably the best person to get trapped there, right? Because she could just instantly cryo. So great showing from Redacted. We're now 1-1, and play of the game goes to Turtle, because I don't know about you, he did do a lot of work that one fight. Well, Bob and the turret did, but there is no Bob if there is no Ash. So great showing from Redacted, and now we're in for a close series. This is looking like a close series, Bowsy.
This definitely is looking like a very close series here between these two teams. I mean, we kind of expected this. Seal Team Spuds have had some very good maps, but they're always known for the 3-1 curse. They've never really gotten to a point where they have won a match 4-0 unless it was up against a bottom team. They've always won a match 3-1. Redacted, on the other hand, they brought all their games close, and they've always taken at least one map in every series this season. So I can't say we didn't expect this, but at the same time, we kind of expected this.
I mean, I expected a close series either way between Seal Team Spuds and Redacted, right? Redacted, yes, didn't really get far within within Tranquility season last season, but they still made strong showings in all their matches one way or another. They always made sure to bring it close. And I'm expecting the same thing from Seal Team Spuds. So we're 1-1, and that means halftime for us, Bowsy. Isn't that correct? Isn't that right?
Yes, that is correct. So, we're going to be heading over to a 10-minute halftime break. When we come back, we'll see if Steel Team Spuds will keep the 3-1 curse alive. I shouldn't say that. In a positive way, keep the 3-1 curse alive, or if Redacted are going to try to take home their second win of the season by getting the upset. We'll see you after the break. back, everybody, to Tranquility Gaming Season 9 regular season coverage. If you've missed the match thus far, it's currently tied up at the half between SEAL Team Spuds and Redacted, both looking for their second win of the season. Bowsy here with Thea as we head over to our third map. SEAL Team Spuds have chosen Eichenwald, surprisingly, not King's Row.
I mean, they can play ball comp.
True. This is a ball comp one. I'm not gonna argue, and now I'm not gonna try to make.
I mean, they can play ball comp at Eichenwald. You can also argue you can do it. The other map. I don't know what the other map in the pool is that isn't KR. Was it Blizzard World?
I would have to check. I think it's Nimbani actually.
Was it Nobody? I don't know, but like, I always said like, I think Eichenwald just opens you up to like other compositions that aren't just Reinhardt, right? Some people say it's kind of like, oh, if KR is in the pool, Eichenwald's probably your next closest thing that's similar to KR, but like, ultimately, its second point is pretty strongly different from KR. But like that opens up to very different compositions, and I think that's what I want to see from Redacted and SEAL Team Spuds, is knowing what they plan to run this time around. And I'm just honestly waiting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what these teams come out with in compositions. We are keeping track of all the Discord tier matches happening tonight for the North American tier, and obviously some results have come in already. Such an example, Galactic Gibbons getting a 4-0 sweep over Monarch, as well Ragnarok Loki sweeping Cosmic Castaways. Adelaide Eclipse also sweeping Thunder Duckies. I swear it's not only sweeps. But actually, in bigger news, MI7 is currently 3-0 over Reminiscence, the #1 favored team this entire season, and the preseason champions lose in the rematch. So obviously a big win there. As we start here on Eichenwald here in a few seconds here, Thea, no surprise to see SEAL Team Spuds running out with this ball comp.
Was I expecting anything else from a team that was only been showing us ball composition this whole
They
night?
showed us Brawl on other maps.
It was okay. But like Redacted, going for a double shield composition with a far mercy, expecting, I guess, this ball composition to an extent, maybe, or maybe they were expecting a brawl, who knows. But SEAL Team Spuds, upon seeing this double shield, have decided to make the necessary swaps, such as moving Ricky over to a Sigma and Toxic over to a Echo, which are, for me personally, very interesting swaps, right? Because who then challenges your the Far Mercy in the air for Redacted? Just Toxic, right? But Nighthawk also swaps, so maybe that's the answer.
We'll see what the moves here are for SEAL Team Spuds and what they want to accomplish here with this change in composition. Obviously, a lot of pressure coming up from Turtle on this far, and you can already see as Squirtle Sergeant subbing in here into this map gets the kill on the Toxic along with a rocket from Turtle. So already a strong start here for Redacted as SEAL Team Spuds have to reset.
Also, you just mentioned it. Redacted did have a player swap, and so did SEAL Team Spuds. Booncore now in for Ashes, while Squirtle Sergeant for It's Me Nugget. So I'm wondering if there's a reason for these swaps on the side of Redacted, but on the side of SEAL Team Spuds, it just seems like, you know, maybe it's just playtime and they're more or less the same. But coming to this next fight, no ults on the board for both sides. Closest is these Dragons and Barrage on the side of Redacted.
Well, the Barrage already eliminated from the factors. Turtle gets beamed down by Toxic, but Nighthawk falls as a return. But Boomcore able to get the kill on the Squirtle Surgeon here. So already SEAL Team Spuds finding the fix of the knee. Now Macheski falling as well. It might be Redacted's point to lose here right now, as all that's left are their tank and as well as Squirtle. But they're all going to be falling, and SEAL Team is going to be taking the first point here on Eichenwald.
SEAL Team Spuds capitalizing really well on Toxic skill over Turtle VP. And there he is again, dead on the kill feed. But, you know, coming to this next fight, I wonder how SEAL Team Spuds plan to engage with this. Considering they only have a pulse bomb from Boomcore, and maybe they'll probably try to get Toxic up to this copy in order to engage with it, but Redacted have so much in their bank in order to get value from. And, oh, hi Boomcore.
That was very unfortunate. Booncore got the stick onto Zorfcon, I believe. Or no, it was Prime, I believe. The Immortality Field came out, and then Ricky rocked, or what was it, Gambito rocked Booncore right back into his own Pulse Bomb. Toxic also able to eliminate Turtle as they use the Barrage. So really, it's just been a fiesta of using your ult and dying as a result. Squirtle Surgeon, however, is able to eliminate Nighthawk here, so Seal Team Spuds down their mercy, but Toxic still able to eliminate that Hanzo as a result. So it's really a back and forth affair, but Seal Team Spuds are still moving this cart. Now the Gravitic Flux comes out here from Gambito. It catches on to Ricky on the Sigma, but the mines now come out from Genji main to knock him off the high ground, and Ricky now uses their own Gravitic Flux here. No kills result from it as Toxic uses the duplicate now onto a third Sigma. We're going to get a third Gravitic Flux in this fight, it looks like, as the rest of Seal Team Spuds are just trying to push and finish out these fights with Turtle dying. Looks like it's going to be Seal Team Spuds eventually taking it, and that's a big Flux that gets canceled from Gambito. Gambito's rocks have been on point, but not enough to bring them back in the fight. Seal Team Spuds continue pushing the cart.
There has to be an answer on the side of Redacted, right? It looks like Gambito is doing so much work for them, like canceling fluxes left and right, pressuring out, they're pressuring out the Echo, but the dives from Genji main and Bugor have been just causing so much more chaos for the backline of Redacted, especially the DPS, that they really can't stabilize properly. So some changes must be made, like Chesky going onto this Brigade.
Well, already not a good start for Chesky and the Brigida as they end up getting pulse bombed by Booncore, but still, Redacted finding some picks here with Prime's Amplification Matrix. Toxic and Booncore now dead, but Prime is now dead as well, so there's no supports left here for the side of Redacted. The Bongo is invested here by Master Ryan to try and clean up the field, and that it will do as Redacted clean up the rest of the members, and they're going to be holding this cart.
I mean, they should be getting a Genji main on the way out, but apparently they weren't able to. He was very low, but great hold from Redacted. I guess the Squirtle's Dragons at that one moment really created space for them for Seal Team Spuds out off the point, and from there Redacted just picked them one by one. But Seal Team Spuds is coming in with this Window, Flux, and Valk, which, if comboed properly, maybe with this Flux and this Window, they could get so much value. And all that Redacted have to answer this is a Bob on point.
See what the move is here from Seal Team Spuds as they make the advance in. Con on the high ground, Ricky using that Gravitic Flux early, but Squirtle Surgeon already finds the kill onto Zorfcon. Has to get rezzed up, but Squirtle now pays for their life from it from Toxic. So Seal Team Spuds still looking for some sort of advantage here. Gambito throws in the bomb, will not find anything, and Genji finds the return kill onto Prime here. Seal Team Spuds, they're looking for the advantage in this fight, and they might have just found it. Turtle forced to use the bomb here to try to contest the Spuds away from this cart, which the promise is going to provide a lot of pressure here for Seal Team Spuds. Mines come out here from Genji main, he gets burnt down by Gambito, and Squirtle comes back to find Toxic, to find revenge on Toxic, and Redacted being able to hold the point here against Seal Team Spuds once more.
Great hold from Redacted, especially using ults to get the point, like to regain back the point. There was a really good trade of ults from both sides, which, at the end of the day, it's just when you trade that around the same amount of ults, it's whose ult got more value. And in that time, it was Redacted. And coming into this next fight, though, they really only have the pulse bomb that Bukar is trying to build before he gets shot straight to the cranium by Turtle VP. So, around 20 seconds left on the clock. You have your window. You have a rally from Chesky. I think Redacted should hold this well enough.
They have to be careful, however, of Toxic, so we'll see if they're able to avoid the problems here from Seal Team Spuds. Prime finds Booncore again! Booncore's been found out twice before the fight even begins! Toxic, however, is able to find Turtle, so now the Ashe out of the picture. The hit scan no longer a threat here for Toxic and that Mercy, but Squirtle Surgeon trying to finish it out here, gets that kill onto Ricky to start, is trying to find Zorfcon here as Prime with the Amplification Matrix finishes out Toxic, and Zorfcon falls straight down into the pit. Gambito gets a big pulse bomb. That pulse bomb from Booncore 2 deaths later doesn't get anything. Booncore sends himself to the pits because of it, and the hold is there from Redacted.
Goodbye, Booncore. Also, I think Turtle decided to join him in that jump too.
Yeah.
I think I saw 2 tracers jump off the map. Well, one fell, the other one jumped off willingly. But great hold from Redacted, making sure that the cart doesn't even progress to the 3rd point. So Seal Team Spuds gotta do a really darn good job in holding 1st point and 2nd point, to make sure Redacted don't take this map away from them, and on a map pick of theirs.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of taking maps away and probably matches as well, other match results have come in. Joey Esports were able to get a 3-1 victory over Space Created, and Chicago Deep Dish have just finished the 3-1 win over Hammerhead, which that does mark the first map loss this regular season for the Chicago Deep Dish. But still, they were able to get that victory out from Hammerhead.
Doesn't that mean Navino's prediction during the Iris podcast didn't come true? Didn't come true?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I think he said they wouldn't lose a map.
Yeah, he said Deep Dish wasn't going to lose a map until stage 2. So
Yeah,
Hammerhead, great job in denying Navino's prediction. I don't know what the reward is. I guess the fact that you foiled Navino's plans.
The reward is giving Navino a fat L, which everyone likes to do these days. So now...
Redacted coming out with double shield on attack? Wait, no, okay, Orisa Diva on attack. You know, that now makes a bit more sense, especially with the Diva needed to pressure out, or at least help Turtle VP pressure out Toxic on the Pharah. Steel Team Spuds sticking to their standard ball composition, except no Ana this time. They're sticking to a Zen.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what the move is here and how it benefits the Steel Team Spuds, as Genji Mane just trying to roll in, try to find those pile drives on the remainder of the Redacted squad, just trying to rotate out. But Squirtle Surgeon finds the kill onto Nighthawk to start off the fight here. So already that Mercy Pocket gone for Toxic. He has to survive on his own and already is not doing very well against Turtle. Just trying to stay alive right now with the healing from Zorpcon, but now Gambito gets killed out. Boomcore dies and so does Squirtle Surgeon. It's been back and forth, but Chesky able to get a critical res on a Gambito, but not for their own life. Turtle finds the Pharaoh duel onto Toxic, so Redacted now with 2 ticks on this point. They're trying to finish it up as Master Ryan goes straight into Zorpcon, but now he has a Mercy Pocket, and the supports are coming right back to bite your tank in the butt. Now Steel Team Spuds trying to hold this, and Zorpcon finds another kill into Prime, but Turtle is there to clean up the fight, and it's going to be Redacted taking the first point.
Definition of bloodthirsty support right there. Zorpcon probably got most of the kills for that fight. And you could even see Nighthawk just boosting him to make sure that he survives through all those kills. And they were the necessary kills, but I don't think they were enough to at least stay on the point with just 2 support squishies, right? But that gives him transcendence for this next fight, which I hope Redacted is aware of. Coming to this next fight though, you do have that High Noon from Squirtle Sergeant, which is a great zoning ult, especially for maybe the Echo.
Core very low here to start off. Probably got picked out by Squirtle Surgeon there. Just trying to stay alive and trying to pick out this Pharmacy comp from Redacted. But Gambito finds Nighthawk again. Nighthawk dying first in these fights is not helping the case whatsoever. Bomb comes out from Gambito and it finds Boomcore as well. So not a good start here for SEAL Team Spuds, as it looks like Redacted will be able to move this card forward.
I mean, Redacted are able to move this card forward also because Chesky does get that high value res onto Prime, which means they don't have to wait for Prime to respawn in order to continue pushing the cart forward and taking all that juicy space on bridge, right? They crossed the scarier portion of the bridge when going up against a ball composition, and let it rip. There's the barrage.
And Turtle uses the barrage, able to eliminate Boomcore. Squirtle Sergeant eliminates Toxic as well, but Prime is dead, so it's a good pick here from Steel Team Spuds, but they have to stabilize. Ricky finds the bomb kill onto Squirtle Surgeon, but it might not be enough here as Redacted are just too much in the advantage right now. All the substances are tanked, and Nighthawk on this Mercy. And the Turtle boops off Genji Mane straight into the pit. He tried to go for the pile drive, but misaimed it. And now Redacted just need to clean up these remaining picks. All that's left is Boomcore on this Tracer, and he will go back to spawn. And Redacted bring us to match point here in the series.
Match point in favor of Redacted, showing that even if they're brought to a map that isn't their choice, they're still going to get value from it. And a great showing, honestly, of that Orisa composition on their attack, right? Normally, you don't really see people just run it down mid with an Orisa, right? Normally, you'd expect Orisa more on like a defensive style comp. But no, here we have Redacted just pressing W with the Orisa, taking space, getting value, and honestly, their Baptiste got like a lot of kills, like from all the space that the Orisa gave. So great showing from Redacted, and I want to see how SEAL Team Spuds is going to respond to this, because it looks like them sticking to this ball composition, as much as it seems like it's their bread and butter, isn't producing them the results that they want, while Redacted is showing a variety of different playstyles. From their 6-man to the Brawl, to the Double Shield, or the Ursa compositions. Redacted are showing they are more than just a 6-man team this season.
Yeah, definitely. Redacted are showing variance in these compositions, and it's working out to their favor. I've always cited them as a 6-man dive team, but now they're starting to show that that's not the case. They have been proven to do really well on a variety of different compositions this season. It's working out to their advantage, and now they put the SEAL Team Spuds in one starchy corner right now. SEAL Team Spuds get to choose our escort map here. It's going to be interesting to see what they choose between Watchpoint, Gibraltar, Dorado, and I forget the third map that they get to choose.
Isn't it Junkertown?
It's Junkertown. It is Junkertown. Thank you for reminding me on that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they choose of that, because all of these maps really favor different styles. One can favor Double Shield, one can favor Dive, and the other can favor Brawl or like a Dive composition. So what choice do they go for here, Thea?
I mean, if they're really like stuck on wanting to play their ball composition, right? I think their best bet at the end of the day is sticking to like Dorado or Gibraltar, right? More than I don't know, or Junkertown. I feel like ball comp could be played in any of these maps. I think it's just the easiest on Junkertown, so they might bring them to Junkertown. But is it Junkertown?
Yes.
SEAL Team Spuds, stop being so predictable! But you know, you can also prove me wrong. Maybe we take this map this time. Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
It's always a possibility. It's always winnable.
It's always winnable, but you have the challenge of pushing it as far as you can right now because you are starting the attack first.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how well SEAL Team Spuds do here on Junkertown if they're able to find the advantage. And speaking of advantages, obviously, a lot of other Discord tier matches happening. We also have a score report. Avalon taking a 3-1 victory over Hades. Again, their first map loss of the season, but still able to get the victory in the aftermath and removing Hades of that perfect scoreline, that 2-0 record that they had, now gone. So definitely a lot of interesting scores coming in, and you know, we still have a lot of other matches to watch out for here as we come out to Junkertown, which could be the last map. It's match point for Redacted. They need one more map, and they take the win over SEAL Team Spuds. And looking at the compositions here, Thea, interesting to see SEAL Team Spuds right now showing the double shield on attack.
Thank goodness. Please. SEAL Team Spuds, I hope this is your answer to like ball comp not working for you guys, because as much as I know each of you are individually great and understand that ball composition, I don't think you guys are piecing it that well together in the previous maps. So I'm hoping for really good stuff from you guys for this round. And on the side of Redacted, oh, never mind. I'm done. I'm resigning. I'm resigning. Redacted going for double shield because hey, why fix what ain't broken?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Is Redacted coming out with this double shield composition and a double sniper, which to be fair, Genji main will be able to have a little bit of free reign here. They will be able to try and pressure out these snipers, try to find those easy angles. It's just the follow-up that's going to be difficult, especially when your Zen is already dead. Turtle VP finding the head of that Omnic, but Genji main able to kill out the Widowmaker here, so already a DPS threat gone here from the side of SEAL Team Spuds, and all they have to worry about is this Hanzo. So right now it's just going to be a back and forth affair, it seems like, and it looks like it's going to be SEAL Team starting to push this card a little bit.
I mean, they lose Turtle, but at what cost? Turtle's just gonna get a way better sightline once they come up to this open area. So it's okay if he gets picked off first. And as I said, Turtle VP just gets a kill on Toxic right away.
Exactly, but Master Ryan died as well, so now Redacted are only have one tank in the bank. That's Gambito up there on the top right, battling out with Ricky on the other Sigma, so we'll see if they're able to try and get the win here. Also noteworthy, Thea, we missed it again. Ash is switching in for Bloomcourt this map as well, so you see it plays into their favor, but Gambito finds the kill onto Genji main here, so that Wrecking Ball now out of the picture, and these Spuds really need that Wrecking Ball to try and engage on this, and Squirtle Surgeon finds the head of Ashes, sends that body straight to the surgery room, and it's going to be Redacted being able to hold this.
I get what SEAL Teams, like, general concepts of the ball comp, right? You have your ball go in, disrupt, and then with each of the slams, once they're in the air, Toxic and Ashes could just get a pick from them. Hell, even Boomcore, who is apparently on the Zenyatta right now, we did not notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either. Boomcore switching in for Nighthawk on the Zenyatta. Definitely we'll see if it works as Gambito throws out the Gravitic Flux. Misses the rock from Ricky, and Ricky ends up dying before the Transcendence from Boomcore is able to save him. So a great start here for Redacted, forcing out both support ults, and now Boomcore is going to die as well, the Squirtle. So it's looking rough here for SEAL Team Spuds and Redacted. They're just holding very nicely.
Redacted is just holding very nicely, just because they have a composition that just so easily can bunker the cart, right? That's the benefit of having an Orisa. It's just the ability to bunker the cart. Because when you're playing a complex SEAL Team Spuds, you're relying on getting those crucial picks from the chaos before pushing the cart. But if you're unable to get the displacement and the kills, it gets significantly harder to do.
Yeah, definitely. However, Genji main able to find the pile drive kill onto Squirtle Surgeon here, so there is a chance here for SEAL Team Spuds to start pushing. They have this Gravitic Flux from Ricky, which gets canceled by Gambito. You can't let that happen right now. But Turtle VP also finds the head of Ashes, if that wasn't the worst of it all. And now Redacted just cleaning the floor with this rally courtesy of Prime.
Well, I'll give a benefit to SEAL Team Spuds. They're coming up to two great zoning ultimates. You have a Bob, you have a Dragon, right? And on the side of Redacted, what do you have to counter that? A Baplap. Because Prime doesn't have his rally anymore. We just used Bongo. We only have Window to zone. And Window can only zone A lane. Well, I say this until they lose Ricky from a cranium headshot from Turtle.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting to see. Redacted have to hold this for 30 seconds. SEAL Team Spuds have that exact amount of time to try and get this cart into point A and keep their hopes of a win alive, or at least the best chance of a hopes alive. Genji main on this is Orisa, so definitely we'll have to see if it makes a difference. Dragon Strike comes out here from Toxic. Doesn't find anything, but does enough to separate his Ashes. Invest the bomb straight into the back line. Doesn't invest it onto the cart. But SEAL Team Spuds able to find a room, and Ashes finds the kill on him after Ryan to start. Good start off here for SEAL Team Spuds. Now the Dragon and Flux come out here from Redacted, as Gambito's Flux gets canceled by the bomb this time. We talk so much about Bomb being the MVP, and it comes in clutch when it matters. SEAL Team Spuds will be able to cap the first point here on Junkertown.
The MVP ruling is SEAL Team Spuds finally switching to a tank that can stay on point and can contest point. Genji main finally switching off the ball and onto the Orisa is now just taking space for them and contesting space for them, which they didn't have when they were running that Ball Sigma composition and unable to displace Redacted. So now we have a window pop by Zorthgon.
Ooh, and that just burns down Gambito. He tried to use the hands to be able to try and eat it up, but wasn't enough for him. Turtle VP looking for a head as well here, but hasn't really found anything, and Ashes finds a pick before they do, so it's going to be another win here for SEAL Team Spuds, and they'll continue pushing this card through Streets phase, but Turtle finds Zorthgon on the way out.
I mean, great pick, because that kind of slows down the push of the tanks of SEAL Team Spuds from able to take space and gives time for Redacted as a team to regroup. So you get these picks slowly incoming. There's only Ricky left, I think, on cart and Toxic. And honestly, if Redacted want to contest it, they can.
Yeah, I don't think they can. Ricky uses the Gravitic Flux to try and keep them off the point, and they don't actually touch. So now the Flux forced out from Ricky, the second point given to SEAL Team Spuds, and Thea. Now Redactor trying to take a page out of SEAL Team Spuds' book by putting Master Ryan on the wrecking ball.
Okay. Valid picks. I always say, like, the ball composition is valid, right? It really depends on how are you going to contest cart as it's moving and how you're going to deal with the engages. But if you have someone like Turtle VP who is hitting shots in the air like we're playing Duck Hunt or something, then I think Master Ryan getting the slams gets so much value for them, right? It really is a playstyle of can we capitalize on what our ball is doing? And that was the weakness of SEAL Team Spuds when they were initially running their ball composition. Now, can Redacted show how to play it better? We have to wait and see, because that's what they're currently doing right now. And goodbye, Genji main. There is no more Bongo. SEAL Team Spuds will have to reset, but they'll be resetting with 5 ults in the bank.
Yeah, Squirtle, Sergeant, and Turtle currently playing multiplayer Duck Hunt right now, finding the heads of SEAL Team Spuds members and just shutting down these pushes before they can even start. So Redacted doing a pretty good job here on this attack, and Squirtle Surgeon wants more. They want to try to find Boon Core and shut down this push even further, but it's not going to be able to work. So now SEAL Team Spuds have some breathing room. They have the Dragon Strike from Toxic being invested to separate them, but they have to deal with Master Ryan here on the contest. Yeah, it's easy. Toxic just uses the Storm Arrows to eliminate them, and now the Amplification Matrix comes out from Zorkon. But Squirtle Surgeon is still finding picks. Boon Core is now out of the fight here on the Zenyatta, and now your Transcendence can't be used for another few seconds.
Yeah, and like they're just getting picks, and now you have Prime using their rally just to keep them all sustained and push forward to take back this space. So 2 ults used on the side of Redacted in exchange for also the 2 ults used on the side of SEAL Team Spuds. And you do see the trades, and one of them being Boon Core with the Transcendence, not a good trade. That's back to the drawing board for SEAL Team Spuds for a while. And, you know, they do have time. It's 40 seconds left on the clock. You can still do a lot. And you see Prime switching to a Zen, hoping to help more with the shield break, I guess, onto Genji main and Ricky. But bye, Master Ryan.
That was very, very unfortunate timing for Master Ryan. Wanted to go in to try and contest SEAL Team Spuds, get caught by the Hulk, get caught by the Rock, get sent back to spawn. Simple as that. But Squirtle Sergeant once again finds Boon Core's head. Boon Core just is constantly popping out his head at the worst times. It's like whack-a-mole in here. Turtle VP will die to Ashes, but Squirtle Sergeant able to eliminate Ashes Bob here. So Redacted trying to finish this out, but now Ricky is angry, and Master Ryan shuts him down immediately with 2 mind kills. Redacted might just be able to try and finish this out. Gambino uses the Gravitic Flux. It lands on the Zorkon, forces out the Immortality Field. He's unable to get the kill on him. Has to use that Kinetic Grasp in order to try to keep themselves alive. And Genji Maid has found their support of Prime. It's back and forth right now, but Redacted are trying to keep this card contested as Toxic finds Turtle VP. But Squirtle Surgeon finds the kill onto Boon Core yet again. Master Ryan's back in the fight, trying to contest here as SEAL Team Spuds continue pushing this card with Toxic's Dragon Strike in play.
I mean, fight still keeps on going, right? A window invested by Zorkon, and nothing really on the side of Redacted to continue contesting this. So they're gonna hide first on like a certain side before they re-engage. But they do have this Dragon from Squirtle Sergeant. They just need to get picks and, you know, hope this could zone point. But they just C9 it! Oh, they were so close to the point, and they just decide, nah, we're not gonna move a meter closer.
Paging Charlie Niner. Repeat, paging Charlie Niner. You are needed on the flight to Australia. Stat. Thank you, Charlie Niner. Not a good way to boost up the fact that you're at match point here for Redacted. That's gonna be a morale killer. That is going to be a morale killer. I should know. C9s or stepping off the cart at the worst time are morale killers. You know what else is a morale killer? Losing your preseason rematch. Redacted, I said, lost to MI7 3-0. It was a 3-1 scoreline for MI7 in that series. So Redacted were able to take a map, but at the end of the day, MI7 get the preseason rematch victory. As now it's going to be Redacted on the attack, and SEAL Team Spuds now
You
showing the
mixed
double
up
shield.
Reminiscence and Redacted in that one moment.
You listen, our teams are hard to remember. Reminiscence lost the preseason finals rematch. MI7 won 3-1. Speaking of Redacted, they look like they're showing the double shield on attack.
I was going to say it's hard to remember. Like, you know, the whole theme of the nostalgia org, right? It's all about remembering, and we can't remember things. SEAL Team Spuds coming out with a double shield, Widow Hanzo, and you know this is a mirror matchup, so we're gonna see who has the better double shield this time around, with Redacted pulling it out right away on the attack.
It'll be interesting to see how well both of these teams take on here as Turtle VP looks for the angle, and Ashes finds their head immediately. Ashes to Ashes and heads to heads, as SEAL Team Spuds already got an advantage here on the start of this point. So SEAL Team Spuds looking pretty strong here, but Squirtle Surgeon's able to find Toxic now. So now the Widow duel's in favor of Ashes, the Hanzo duel's in favor of Squirtle. So we'll see if it's the case here moving forward as Ashes almost gets picked out by Prime on the Zenyatta. That's going to be a close call there for the Zen. Or actually, the Widow actually gets picked off by Prime. Prime able to win the Widow duel himself. He's like, fine, Turtle won't do it. I'll do it instead. So Redacted in a pretty good spot here, eliminating both of those DPS. You see the Toxic is back in the fight on the high ground, but still Redacted looking pretty strong here, especially now with Ricky falling.
I mean, I'll be honest, like, Prime getting Ashes at the end really was just because Ashes still had the Discord on them. So, it was, oh, nice dodges from Turtle, managed to get Ashes on the way out. So, you know, great first point push by Redacted, no time wasted, 5-minute time bank to get through the second point. And they're looking pretty solid right now. Ashes deciding that maybe the Widow duel isn't really for them, goes back to playing the Ashe.
Yeah, the Ashe definitely is a good pick here. It can provide a lot more damage compared to Widowmaker. You don't get that instant kill potential unless you're damage boosted, but still, you have the potential to do a lot of damage and set up kills. Dragon Strike comes in from Squirtle Surgeon as Redacted trying to make their way in. The window invested here from Zorfcon to try to keep them contested. That's a very good halt, however, from Master Ryan. Knocks Ricky onto the low ground, but they are able to survive. But Squirtle Surgeon able to find Toxic here with that Sonic Arrow. Already a good start here as Ash is able to eliminate Chesky, but gets killed by Turtle VP. And Squirtle's found Genji main as well. Redacted doing pretty good here despite losing that cap last time.
Also, I think Ricky's Flux got cancelled again.
I think
it did.
I'd have to check the bug. Someone in chat, someone can check.
I think I heard like a rock and it was like, oh hi, cancel, bye. But somehow, even with all these picks, Redacted aren't able to get the point. So
yeah,
they do have 4 ults coming to this next fight. One of them being sights, while SEAL Team Spuds really have nothing except Bongo and Dragons incoming. So as long as Toxic doesn't get his head shut out from his body, we should be fine. He should be able to get Dragons, right? And Genji main pops the Bongo to help get value right away for his other teammates.
Yeah, definitely, and Chesky and Squirtle Surgeon already followed. The Flux is invested here from Gambito, and it will drop Genji main extremely low, but the heals are there from Zorfcon, so that Orisa will be staying alive. Master Ryan tries to contest the cart, and Turtle's able to find Genji main. Suddenly, Gambito is meeting himself face-to-face with the supports here for the side of SEAL Team Spuds, and Redacted are close to pushing this cart in. Master Ryan uses the Bongo on the cart, tries to eliminate Ricky here with the Sigma, but he has the support, but still dies to Master Ryan here as the rest of Redacted are able to turn this fight around. We go from a fight where Redacted looked like they won to SEAL Team Spuds being able to take it, to SEAL Team Spuds taking the first picks, yet still losing the fight.
I mean, at the end of the day, that was just because Redacted had way more angles at that one point. Like, after they got the necessary picks and SEAL Team Spuds lost a lot of their angles, they only had, like, what, 2 people holding the same angle while they had Master Ryan on the bottom, on cart, Gambito on high ground, and I don't know where Turtle VP was, but, like, angles. This is the game. This is the game of how you play double hit scan with, like, your double shield. Angles.
Yeah, angles definitely into its simple geometry, as they say. Speaking of simple geometry, Squirtle Surgeon eliminates Ashes there on the point, but he ends up getting eliminated by Ricky here, so not a good start here for Redacted. However, Turtle is still trying to find heads and does get the head of Toxic eliminated immediately. SEAL Team Spuds trying to keep sustaining this. They do find Prime on the Zenyatta, who has the Transcendence up, so it could be the turning factor here as the Immortality Field is found, but Turtle once again finds the head of Ashes here. The Gravitic Flux comes out here from Gambito, forces the Transcendence from Boomcore, and another amazing rock. We've seen so many of them today. This time it's Ricky canceling out Gambito's Flux and canceling out this push from Redacted.
I think Gambito and Ricky at the end of the day have just had probably so much time doing rock skipping. Because, like, the amount of times that these Fluxes have been cancelled by rocks is astounding, right? I've seen Fluxes get cancelled by hacks, them consistently now getting cancelled by rocks, a whole completely different story. Both Sigmas probably have had this practice, great showing, but coming to this next fight, Prime does have this Transcendence and the window from Chesky. Now, is that enough to deal with the Bongo and the Bob on the side of SEAL Team Spuds? Questionable.
Very questionable here as the ults come flying left and right here. Squirtle Sergeant looking for picks, and Master Ryan eliminates Ash's Bob, which was thrown to contest the card here. So Redacted still looking for the opportunity. The drum comes out here from Genji Main, trying to provide a lot more damage here for SEAL Team Spuds. But Squirtle Surgeon finds Zorthcon here, so already one of the main heals for SEAL Team is out of the fight. Ashes, however, eliminates Squirtle Sergeant, but gets picked out by Prime, who's been an absolute masochist on this Zenyatta right now, eliminating picks one by one. The Transcendence, however, gets forced out by him, but Ricky, it seems like, used the fluxing, and it got canceled again by Gambito, my guess is. So SEAL Team Spuds not looking great right now. Genji Man has to switch back over to the ball, and Ashes is switched over to the stall Tracer. The window is out from Zorthcon, but Redacted are so close to finishing this, less than 5 meters away from being able to finish Junkertown and getting a second attack for their own, and they're going to be able to do it. A second attack favor of Redacted, but SEAL Team Spuds also get a second attack here on Junkertown.
Now, the question is, will SEAL Team Spuds go back to their ball shenanigans for their attack? Or will they stick to their Orisa composition for their attack? Because they looked very promising when they were running the Orisa straight off. When they were running the Orisa right away. So, I wonder if they've learned from this and decided maybe we can get a farther push with it compared to, the ball composition. So, 3 seconds left. Time to see what these teams have for us, and I didn't have Spawn hold the door of SEAL Team Spuds in my bingo card for Redacted today. Did you have it?
Neither did I. I mean,
this is such an old strat that I haven't seen in ages.
Yeah, and I think the more surprising thing is, I don't think we've seen Master Ryan on the Reinhardt apart from Hanamura. We've seen Master Ryan on the Reinhardt there, but that was with a Sim TP. You'd probably expect that, but outside of that, Redacted have not really shown to play a lot of Brawl compositions this match, so...
No, I think this is gonna throw a wrench into what SEAL Team Spuds is expecting, but if they understand the idea of angles, they should be able to deal with this right away, and there we go.
Yep, Ashes already gets the first kill here onto Squirtle Surgeon here. A great start here for SEAL Team Spuds, but Turtle is able to eliminate Toxic, so there is the potential here for Redacted to try and get some sort of close hold here. They just won't have their Hanzo, which is their main source of shield break in this composition.
I mean, and also, Master Ryan really isn't able to swing on anyone because they're more of just, static in that one side, preventing damage in. And the reason for that is because since SEAL Team Spuds has more angles, they could just pick people off. But they've dwindled the time so much that there's only 20 seconds left for SEAL Team Spuds to push this card from where it's currently located to as far as they can go. And that gives Redacted another fight.
Yeah, we'll see what the move is here from Redacted. Overtime is going to be triggered here for SEAL Team Spuds as they continue moving the cart forward. It's all going to be determined on how long they're able to keep this cart in their possession. We'll have to see how they do as Redacted come through the little room on the right, trying to bombard right onto the tank, right onto Genji Man, who is holding that cart. Gambito finds the first kill on the Boom Core as the rest of the kills are going back and forth right now. But Turtle VP and Squirtle Surgeon are still alive, and Redacted are still kicking. They'll hold the cart at 48 meters.
That is such a smart play, though, right? Because I think it looks like Ashes was setting up for a fight in the open area. Redacted just goes, now we speed in through the room out of the LOS of, where the long sightlines that a Widow would want to play and just brawl it there. And the timing was so perfect from Redacted that I'm shocked more than I'm pleasantly entertained, amused, surprised. It was just great gameplay from Redacted. Now, what is SEAL Team Spuds' answer to dealing with the fact that the cart had only been pushed until under the bridge?
Their answer right now looks to be double shield there.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I would have been terrified if Redacted actually went out with the Bastion.
you guys can't hear it, but our producer is currently singing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. So
yeah. DMCA, stop before we get any more ideas of having it played on stream.
Shoot, I need to be like Dora. Where's my kazoo?
Cut.
The kazoo.
Cut. Cut! Oh no, Redacted's
nope.
actually pulling this out.
Yep.
Redacted's pulling out the Rhino
Yep.
versus Shield with a Bastion. I feel sorry for Shield Team Spud.
Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for Squirtle Surgeon. You might as well call him the Squirtle Sergeant at this point, considering he's leading the ship. But Boomcore is able to find Prime here early and forces out the res here from Chesky. But Turtle on the Widowmaker finds the kill into Ashes here as Redacted nears the final area. 10 meters remain between Redacted and their second win of the season. And Master Ryan's eliminate Genji Main. So Squirtle Surgeon ends up dying, but the rest of Redacted are cleaning up the picks right now. There's nothing left in the SEAL Team's Buzz. They've been peeled, they've been fried, and they've been served on a delicious platter of fish and chips as Redacted will take home their second win of the season over the SEAL Team's Buds 3-1.
Oh my gosh. You know, this series has been entertaining to watch with all the back and forths, especially on this Junkertown map. I feel like there were a lot more back and forths this map compared to the other maps. And you know, I guess it's just how the compositions that we run when you run mirrors just really give so much opportunity for that back and forthness, right? But at the end of the day, Redacted have shown that they have a great understanding of how they run compositions against a ball comp and shut it down and force another team to play their game.
Definitely, Redacted have shown that they can be adaptable when it matters the most. Obviously, not a great showing there in Ilios, but we're able to bring it back when it matters, and they were able to take the victory over the SEAL Team Spuds, who go down to 1-2 in the season. Not a good start for SEAL Team Spuds, but they still have 2 weeks to recover from this and bring themselves back into the thick of things. But now, Thea, with the dust settled and Redacted taking home the victory, I want to know, who is your player of the match from the side of Redacted?
Turtle got so many kills, like, in the weirdest ways, like, it's insane. Like, honestly, it was just Booncore left on point for, like, that last fight, and literally no respect, SMG Widow. Mad respect for Turtle, like, landing all the shots has been at least consistent with putting out the picks for them, especially in this Hanamura game.
Yeah, definitely. Turtle did really well in this match. Definitely showed their potential here on that Ashe and on that Widowmaker throughout the entire series. Turtle definitely is a good player of the match, as you can see there. Turtle getting that pick as well. Great showing there from Turtle to be able to take all those wins there. So yeah, Turtle definitely has to be a high regarded player of the match. But I'm gonna give a special shout out as well to Prime. Prime definitely was a really strong player throughout the entirety of the series, especially on Junkertown when they had a lot of those good Zen picks. Prime definitely showing that they are a true, like, really good support whenever Redacted needed the most. Also, special shout out to Squirtle Surgeon. I may have messed up your name about half the time, but you definitely showed up when it mattered the most, and being able to get those picks, especially on Junkertown, turned it in the favor of Redacted and got them this victory here, Thea.
We need one more shout out though. The crazy rock throws and Sig ult cancels from both Sigmas. Like, it is insane. There were too many of them.
Gambito and Ricky, if they are not in the conversation for best off tank because of this match, there are going to be problems. I am telling you right now, I will file a complaint immediately if they are not put in for best off tank in the series. So definitely a really strong showing from everybody here in this match. At the end of the day, however, it is Redacted being able to take home the victory here today, Thea.
Yeah, and great showing. And, you know, do we have any shows right after us, Bowsy?
I'm pretty sure we do. I'm asking about it right now. I don't... Alright, we may not, but that doesn't mean we have other we don't have any other Tranquility programs going on, especially on Sunday. We have our Fall Guys Invitational, where people get a chance to win some free merchandise if they win a crown in Fall Guys. So that is on Sunday here on TranquilityGG, or at least twitch.tv/TranquilityGG. But that is going to do it for us here today. For my wonderful co-caster, Thea, our amazing producer, Booth, our observers, Mr. Yeti, and Dan, we thank you all for watching. Until we meet again, my name has been Bowsy, and we hope you have an amazing night.